All right, so we're going to talk about modular mates, and I'm here in my kitchen because I'm just going to pull them right out of my cupboard so you can see how I use them in real life. All right, and so the set I'm going to talk to you about is it's the rectangle 2, right? And then 2 of the super oval, oh my gosh, you can't talk, super oval 2s. All right, and then let's see here, what else do I have? And then 2 of the super oval 1s and 1 of the rectangle 1s. Okay, so this is the set that is going on right now. All right, and so I'm going to tilt this down so you can see it. You don't need to see my face. All right, so this is the set that's going on right now. And it is a great baking set. And I say that because, like you see, the majority of these came out of the baking cupboard, right? So I have several different flours, right? Anymore, so many recipes. I mean, I know I'm gluten-free. Okay, so I use lots of different types of flours, but I know a lot of people that use lots of different types of flours for recipes anymore. Coconut flour, tapioca flour, all that kind of good stuff. Almond flour. All right, so we need separate containers for all of our amazing flours because all of them need to be kept airtight, just like regular flour, right? And so I have them labeled because if I don't label them, then I don't know what they are, right? Now you can kind of tell if you experiment with different flours, you can kind of tell sometimes by the texture of it. But I will share with you this little tip. So on the side, I have conversions. Can you see that? Kind of a little bit. My light's too bright. All right, so I have conversions on the side. So on the package, a lot of times they have conversions. So like the tapioca flour, for every 2 tablespoons is equivalent to 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. And tapioca flour is something that's very used. I use it the way I would use cornstarch, right? So to separate my cheese, to do things like that, I use that, right? And then the coconut flour, I use that for, you know, when you make sausage or something like that, and or chicken, and you're gonna bread it. Not bread it, but just like flour it, dredge it in flour. I like to use the coconut flour for that. It has a great consistency. It adds a little bit of flavor, but it also almost adds a little bit of like a graininess to it, but it's a good graininess. Like, so it gives you a nice little crisp there. All right, so you see how I have them stacked here, right? Because the rectangles, right? You can fit 2 of these super ovals on the rectangles, right? And so you can just kind of stack them and organize them however they'll fit in your cupboards. So I have a cupboard up here, right, that I pulled the baking stuff out of, because my baking cupboard's up here because I don't do a lot of baking, right? Which is what makes Modular Made so perfect for me, because I don't use flour a lot. I don't use baking things a lot. So I want them to last longer. I don't want them to be bad every time I go to use them, right? And so, so I had those right up there, right? But then you see I have pull-out cabinets, right? So I have this is our pantry. This is our pantry. So my Tupperware is down here and my seals are here. This is actually it's funny. So my shelves are separated in gluten-free and non-gluten-free. But we do so much that's either gluten-free or naturally gluten-free. It's all kind of started to bleed over. And so a lot of these things on the shelf, with the exception of the oats and some goldfish crackers, are gluten-free, but I have everything nice and labeled, even like, you know, my pastas and things like that. But it starts with a set like this. When you start with a nice starter set, you can start playing with it. And once you start putting things into your modular mates, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I had another one this size. I use this super oval 2 a lot. I use it for a lot of things. I don't use the super oval 1 as much. So having 2 of these is perfect. But if I bought this set as my starter set, I probably would buy multiples of this size, that rectangle 2, and I would buy multiples of this size. So the next time they were on sale individually, those are the ones I would go for, right? Because this rectangle 2 is also what you can use for your Cheetos. I think my girlfriend Loretta, she calls it the Eatos box, right? Cheetos, Tostitos, Doritos, right? All those things can go in here for a normal size bag of chips, right? So I've got a big family, and I've got 2 teenagers that are just eating like crazy. So we buy the big bags of chips. So they go up into a rectangle 4. All right. But let me show you this. So I love my modular mates. I not only love them in the kitchen, but I love them all over the house, and I love modular mates inside modular mates. I'll show you how. All right, so I'm going to show you this. This is actually a rectangle 3, but you could do this same thing that I've done here in a rectangle 2, right? And so I actually have an oval down inside of here to hold these bars where they're supposed to be. And then these bars are able to sit right beside them, right? And then I'm able to put these little go-go's back here. And so this is like James's lunch snack bar box, right? And so I labeled them. I labeled them 1, 2, and 3. So we joke and call the kids, you know, those trays. And so I just labeled their boxes 1, 2, and 3. So James actually has 2 boxes because he just does more on the go snacking in his lunch, and he has to have snacks for school, all that good stuff, right? But my other 2 just have smaller boxes, right? With like oatmeal and there's stuff that they snack around the house in. So you see how creative you can get with all of your modular mates throughout the house and in the kitchen. But it always starts with one set. You can't do your whole cupboards, right? I mean, you can, but it helps to start with one set, because then, like I said, as you're dumping stuff in, you're going, oh, I bet my granola cereal would fit into this, and it probably would, because that granola cereal is so darn small, right? Or crackers or things like that. And this bottom box, a lot of people, and we use it, I see it just says cookies on here, and so sometimes it has Oreos in there, right? Because it's a perfect size for Oreos, because that resealable pouch, it does nothing, right? That does not just resale anything. I don't know who they're fooling. But this time it's got gluten-free crackers in there, right? And so it always just kind of, or gluten-free cookies, actually, they're graham crackers. So I'm hoping someone's going to make me a gluten-free cheesecake. All right, so so they're just cookies right there. And then this one does not have a label, because a lot of times if I do like elbow noodles or anything like that, I use like half the box. This is a perfect size for the other half of the box. So I don't label it. I just kind of have it on hand, so that when that happens, I can just like go ahead, dump half the box, and then dump the other half in here, and I'm ready to go. And all of your seals are interchangeable for your various super ovals and rectangles and all that good stuff. So a lot of times people don't buy all of the modular mates that they need all at once. And so sometimes they have different colored seals, which you see here, right? And that's okay, right? Some people that really like things super duper organized and they want everything the same color. And I think someday I might be that person. But right now I'm more about the convenience. And so I don't worry necessarily about the colors. Now, I did have a customer who color coded all of her food. And the blue meant go ahead and you can have unlimited snacks out of what's in a blue container. The red meant stop and you have to ask mom. I was like, holy cow, you're super organized. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I need to come to your house. Actually, you need to come to my house and organize my house, right? But you see how everything can be nice and tidy. And it's the thing that's so great about having modular mates. And then also you see here, I just kind of, this is one of those super oval ones, and I just have packets inside of there standing up in my cupboard there. And so there's so many different things you can do with it. And when you have one set and you start playing around with the different sizes, how they fit in your cupboards, all those good things, it's amazing. And this rectangle and the super oval, it is the depth of a standard American standard, something like that, cupboards, right? So when you put these in, let me show you. There we go. When you put these in, they go right to the front of the cupboard. And so you don't have any extra space in there. Now, if I had, one of the other ones, you would have space in front of there. What I like to be able to open my cupboard and just see what's in there without having to move a box or a can or something like that. It just makes it nice and easy. And we're visual people. And so we remember what that looks like, right? We remember like what's up in that cupboard, where we keep it, and how much is left. Like, I need tapioca flour. I don't have very much, right? All right, so you will love having modular mates. And so for those of you that are consultants and maybe you're newer or you haven't had the opportunity to modular mate your cupboards yet, now's the time to go ahead and get a set, just even one set of these modular mates that are on sale, so that you can get them in and start using them in your kitchen. Because when you use them, you will sell them. You will love them, because until I modular made in my cupboards, I didn't get it. Like, I didn't get why people loved modular mates so much and went so crazy every time they were on sale. But now I totally get it. And I love reorganizing them. I love going in and making sure everything has a home where it is and it's labeled and it's ready to go. The cupboard's been acting funny all day. There we go. And so definitely take the time to invest in your business and invest in your kitchen, okay? And get some of these modular mates so that you'll be able to talk to your friends about them. And so you'll be able to experience it, because when you experience it, it's a whole nother level of selling, right? It just makes it so much more sincere. And when you have that experience and you love them, when I first started Tupperware, I kept getting them for free. And I was like, I just kept putting them in the base. I'm like, I don't need these things. I don't need these things. And then finally, after I'd cleaned out my cupboards three times, right? In like 3 months. And there were like 4 open boxes of my favorite crackers. They were all stale. There's crumbs and stuff everywhere. Several times things fell out of the cupboard on me or spilled out onto the countertops. I was like, maybe there's something to these modular made things that are really crazy about. And then I started using them. And trust me, when you use them, you won't be sorry.
All right. Thank you so much, Ellen. That was awesome. And I just have a question for you. With being gluten free, the modular mates have to be a game changer for you. Storing
Oh,
your,
yeah.
yeah,
Because
because
there's so many different flours and mixes and things like that, and it makes it so much easier, and it's nice and tidy. That's the reason why we did a gluten-free shelf and a gluten shelf, because sometimes, because this has like goldfish crackers, but it's not like they spill out everywhere. It's just maybe like a couple crumbs, and I can just wipe it down, and then it's sanitized again, and it's gluten-free, and I don't have to worry about it. So
right.
yeah, it's awesome.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Excellent demo.